Welcome to episode 2 of my trip to Annecy. Unfortunately, some of the clips' audio has been compromised by the rain over the last few days, so I'll try and fill in the gaps with a bit of voiceover where appropriate. The day started fairly dry as we left the hotel, but as you can see here, the roads certainly got damp fairly quickly, and this continued for a fair amount of the day's riding. Apologies for my voice, as I tested positive for COVID on returning to the UK after this trip, and I'm still trying to clear the effects of that. See, these roads look pretty shiny, so we were taking it fairly easy going up this pass. Martin had recommended this pass to us today because he travelled up it yesterday in bright sunshine, but as you can see it's completely different today. You can see here that I've put a cam on Wayne's bike, so you'll see a few clips from him throughout this episode. You may be able to hear muffled voice from me speaking into a dead microphone at certain places, so apologies for that. As you can see, the sun's trying to dry the roads, but it's a big job at the moment. This was a lovely little gorge that we entered here. It's just a shame the weather was so rubbish. I've sped up some of these clips to show you as much of the road sections as possible and cram as much into this as I can. I pulled over to get a group drive-by shot of everyone. So we're just now making our way over to the Route du Stelios.
So we just had a bit of coffee and a little baguette just to keep us going as we head back to Annecy. We're 57 kilometres out and trying to pick up this route that takes us over the hillside. At last the sunshine is trying to come through. The roads are dry now anyway, so we might have a bit of fun going up and over the col when we find it, and I'll bring you back in as soon as we're on that road. I think is probably the best thing to do.
Oh dear, we've lost the audio on the helmet cam again, I'm afraid, sorry.
Right, so we're just leaving the town with the lake that we passed a little earlier, and it looks like we're now heading up into the mountains. This is the, I was going to tell you the route name, but it's just changed. I'm sure I can put it up on the screen as a road number if there, there isn't a road number at the moment. At last, some curves. Hurrah! Fingers crossed that it's going to stay dry up here.
Oh no, the audio's gone again, sorry. At least the roads seem to be drying out a bit, although the clouds look pretty ominous over our heads. Then I came up behind this van and I couldn't work out whether the guy was drunk, on the telephone, or deliberately trying to block us from coming past. Now it starts to get more interesting as we start the route to Semnos. But look at the roads, they're starting to dry out. So as you can see from the map, the route to Semnos is quite a long road, carrying on from this point north right back to Annecy. See on these stretches it's quite bumpy as well, the road's not brilliant. The roads are damp again up here because we're entering into the sort of cloud area. I think I misjudged this and got a little bit close to the left-hand edge of tarmac. Then again, maybe I got it exactly right. In reality, it's much longer than this. I had to chop out huge chunks of this road because it just goes on and on like this. And eventually we come out of the tree line as we approach the plateau at the top.
Not much of a view. I bet you got a good view the other day, did you? There they are. That was fun.
How's that for a pic of the sun trying to burn through the clouds? Thank you for the picture, Wayne. We now head further north along the spine of this mountain road. And back to our base in Annecy.
Okay, hope you enjoyed that little ride. Day 6, our last day in Annecy. Of course, it's the best weather forecast of the whole week. So I'm going out for a little ride, put together a shortish ride because it's going to be really sticky today, and we've got a long day tomorrow. So we're going to go for a little sort of 2.5, maybe 3 hour loop over on the far side on the east side of Annecy. There's a chateau. We may go in, we may just go and take a picture of the pretty place, and then on it more or less passes that entrance on the way to the Col Forclaz, Forclaz, I think it is. And then I've done a little loop back from there. And today I've got Stelios with me, Stelios Poulman. So we'll catch up with you a little bit way along the route.
This is the lakeside road around Annecy. If you ever come to visit this chateau, it's very easy to overshoot the entrance. I did the first time, so I've slowed it down here to show you exactly where it is. They even send visiting coaches down this lane, so it's a tight squeeze if you're trying to get out.
Or shall I go and see how much it is first?
Alright.
Unfortunately, it turned out that the chateau was closed until 1400 hours, which seems a really late opening time, but there we go, it is what it is.
Yeah. Right, crack on to the good bit then. Col du Forclaz.
Another view of Lake Annecy as we approach the road that takes us up to the Col du Forclaz and the views over that lake, so you can get some great pictures at the top. Sorry if you can hear more background chatter as I talk into a dead microphone, but if I lower the whole clip, you're not going to hear any of the engine sound or anything like that either. So we just had to turn around and head down that valley road that you can see behind us after a very enjoyable drinks and ice cream stop at the top there before we took some pictures over the lake, which no doubt you've seen in the video.
Frank, he's just come up from this direction.
Some great twisties down this section as we headed back down towards the lake and rode around the western side of it. We've now just got to find the left-hand turning that takes us up and into the hills. This section crammed in a lot of bends. I mean, they're not terribly fast, but they're easy. Lefts and rights, left and rights, left and rights, all the way down this road. You'll notice a quick jink in my riding here because I thought this guy was actually going to pull out on me, and I was just... Have you noticed how little traffic there is along here? This is quite a long stretch, but nice and easy flowing road. now have to pick up the busier main roads to get back into Annecy itself. Back to our base for the conclusion of this day. Catch up with you in the morning.
That's good. Another ride. Day 7. So we're leaving Annecy and heading back to Troyes. So we're taking a fairly straightforward route, 438 kilometres, and current arrival time is just after 2 p.m, but obviously with stops etc it's probably going to be 3:30 I guess.
This may be a main road, but look how stunning it is through this section here. So here we approach the start of the D996, one of my favourite roads north out of Dijon. This is fairly bumpy, the Dijon end of this road, but there's about 50 miles of twists and turns across the countryside and very little traffic. This road's probably got something for everyone. There's occasional hairpin, but most of it is fast flowing roads like this, which is my personal favourite. A lot of the chatter you might hear going on in the background is actually me talking to Wayne via the Cardo headsets. I'm just saying it's a little bumpy through this particular section of road. I've made up enough time to pull over for a moment and just do a drive-by shot of Wayne and Jane. Trouble is, I've now got to catch them up again. The road opens up here, so you can push on a little bit if that's what you want to do.
So for the film, we've got 109 kilometres from here, so that's about 60 miles or so. So we made good time. Arrive approximately 1500. I can hear you.
I like it with the music. I didn't think I'd like it with the music. I think it just takes your mind off it.
Well,
never gonna give you up, never gonna let you
all the time.
Shut up, boys.
never gonna desert you. Come, comedian.
This is all going in the film, you know.
What, the two?
What you want, Aga too? Oh my
God.
God. Oh, for Christ's sake.
Did you see that? Yes, there's a car. Not just one, there's three of them. Amazing.
As you've probably worked out, they haven't got an intercom between the two of them. I think that's probably for Wayne's benefit. Or Jane's benefit. So she bought these earbuds to give her a bit of music rather than just sitting there in boredom on the back all day long. Oh my God, a motorcyclist. First one, no, second one we've seen. Lead on, red one. You can enjoy yourself for a little bit. You go at your pace and just enjoy. Oh, well, you might be all right. Now you've pumped up your right hand side of the road. Come on. Right hand side of the road.
I was just communicating with Wayne the last time I came through here with friends Colin and Sarah. We stopped at a little pub on the right hand side as we approach here, and it was quite a sort of old fashioned place. We had to knock on the door to get the motor in it, but look at it now, it's more like a sort of destination coffee shop now.
Ludley. Always goes for it. over there in the entrance. Whew! Filmage off for a minute while we fill up.
It's worth noting that we had to use automatic fuel pumps in all of the stations where we stopped. None were attended, and some refused certain cards, so make sure you've got more than one card so you've got a bit of options there if you get one declined.
Oh, did you forget to lock it at that point? Oh, well, even so, if it's locked, it shouldn't be able to get open.
We're now heading across this last bit of countryside here to pick up the main roads that will take us back up to Troyes. We had to take it really slowly for about 10 miles because everybody was flashing us as if there was a police stop, but we never actually saw anything. Nevertheless, we stuck to the 50 kph. This is the last approach to our hotel in Troyes as we navigate our way around the commercial area.
So for filming benefits, yeah, so after a long day, we've done it all, got to arrive here a lot quicker than we did on the way down. We've taken a wiggly route. Is there is shade somewhere? You can park out there, or do you just want to park as close to the door as possible? I'm going to park here. Room in there. Okay, catch up with you later, folks.
So I'm here at the Golden Tulip Hotel in Troyes, and I just thought I'd give you a quick view of the bedroom. If you're thinking of staying here, so there's plenty of hanging space here at the entrance. Loo. Bathroom with all usual facilities in here, and the main bedroom. So 2 twin beds in here. TV, plenty of place to work if you need to here. And it backs onto the airport, but don't be put off by that. I haven't heard a single plane take off from here, so it must be light aircraft or something like that, but I wasn't disturbed. It's a perfectly quiet night's sleep here. So that's the room. Oh, and there's aircon here as well, just up there. So Wayne and Jane myself are going to make our way back to the Eurotunnel, and I think we're going to probably go as
the fastest way back because they have things to do. But that's about the end of the tour. It's been quite a good tour, really. It's only a short one, but the weather's been a bit mixed. Good weather yesterday, great weather today. But good to meet some new faces, and hopefully there'll be another tour coming up soon. Well, we've got our September one to Portugal and Spain and the Picos, etc. So catch up with you then. All the best. Cheers.